Hello everyone, I'm Rachel, and welcome to internationalstudent.com's Google Hangout. Today, we are joined by McNeese State University Director of International Programs, Preble Girard, who's going to be discussing how McNeese State University's program will pay off in the long run for your future career. She will discuss scholarships that you can apply for and what makes MSU so affordable. We also have biochemistry professor Dr. Mark Merchant and Director of Medical Laboratory Science, Dr. Jennifer Bushnell, who will go through the science of college, exciting medical lab sciences, and chemistry programs with us. MSU also provides its students with valuable work experience through their internship listings, OPT program, and STEM extensions. You'll learn all about this and more throughout this presentation. Remember, you'll be able to access the showcase on the upper right-hand side of your Hangout screen and submit any questions you may have in the Q&A section. There, you can also find a link to McNeese State's profile on internationalstudent.com and other helpful links, including STEM program information. So open up those links, start posting those questions, and we'll send it over to Preble.
Good morning. Good morning, and thank you for joining us. Lovely sunny morning in Lake Charles, Louisiana, and we're delighted to be talking to you today about some careers and majors that have real potential for you at McNeese. First, a little bit of information about McNeese, where we're located. We are in sunny Lake Charles, Louisiana. Louisiana is in the southern part of the United States, down near the Gulf of Mexico. It's a very warm, friendly, and safe place to live, so we always enjoy our international students. If we can move to the next slide. Like I said, it's a nice sunny place to live. You see that we're down towards the Gulf of Mexico, which offers a very unique cultural environment, and it's also a comfortable climate too. On the next slide, we have about 8,000 students, so we're a medium-sized university. That means that you get a lot of personal attention. We have a 20-to-1 faculty-student ratio. And that is actually our motto at McNeese, excellence with a personal touch. So it's very important to us that we take good care of our students, and that you get the attention you need from your faculty advisors, and your professors. Now let me talk a little bit on the next slide. We'll talk about excellence and affordability. And this is something, before we move into talking about specific programs, it's important to know that McNeese is a medium-sized school. We're a state school, and we're very proud of that. But sometimes people are looking for a big name. They're looking for rankings and things like that, and that's perfectly fine. But sometimes you'll find the best fit in a smaller school that maybe doesn't have the same name recognition, it doesn't have the same ranking, but you're going to be able to have the same outcomes, and that's very important. So you want to look at what are you looking for. You want to look at your the outcomes that you're seeking. Specifically, you want to look at faculty engagement. How engaged are the faculty? How much attention do you get from the faculty? Are your courses taught by actual faculty members or graduate assistants? At McNeese, you're going to be taught by faculty members, which is very important. You also want to look at student research, national competitions. And at McNeese, we're very proud of our student research, the student faculty research opportunities. And the opportunities that students have to compete and be contenders, if not champions, in national competitions. We've been very fortunate with our students, and a lot of them have been international, so we're always excited to have more international students. Again, focusing on what you want, looking at the environment, looking at the climate, looking at the size of the school. Looking at a school that values teaching. Teaching is very important, and then you also want to look at the facilities. McNeese and my two colleagues will talk to you a little bit more about what sort of facilities we have. We are a medium-sized school, but we have outstanding facilities and labs. So we offer you the same opportunities that some of the larger schools will offer you. Now on the next slide, One thing that you want to think about when you're talking about excellence and affordability, accreditation matters. And I know that this sometimes is a very American idea, accreditation, but accreditation is a stamp of approval. It's a stamp of assurance of quality and the standard of excellence. And McNeese holds the same accreditations that many premier universities have. Our engineering program has ABET accreditation. Our chemistry program is accredited by the American Chemical
Society, correct? Yeah.
Correct, Society. And Dr. Bushnell will talk to you a little bit about the accreditation in medical laboratory sciences. So accreditation is very important. That means there's an outside entity approving and telling us that our program holds the standards that that you want. A lot of times, too, employers are looking for that accreditation. They want to see that accreditation because it gives value to your diploma. So I'll talk to you a little bit about excellence and the programs that we're going to be describing. I think they'll speak for themselves. Let me talk to you quickly about affordability. Affordability on the next slide is very important. Affordability, you need to get you need quality and you need affordability. And one thing that's very important at McNeese is our ability to give you an excellent education, but also to make sure that you do that and you keep it within the budget that's right for you. Now, we have a lot of awards for international students. The average award for international students is approximately $10,000 per year. My office works diligently with students to make sure that you have the materials in order so that you can qualify for those awards. And there is a variety of different ways to do that. And a lot of that information is on our website. And I'm always happy to engage with students. And maybe in the Q&A I can answer some specific questions about that. Now, again, a lot of those scholarships are only available at the undergraduate level. Before I move on and allow my colleagues to talk about their programs, I do want to emphasize that McNeese is a comprehensive university. We have degrees at both the bachelor's level and the master's level. Our programs, we have large programs in engineering, business, science, agriculture, education, and liberal arts. So today we're focusing on two options that are very viable options, and they're specifically majors in career majors that offer a lot of career outcomes, and so I want to allow my colleagues time to talk about that. Right now I'm going to allow Dr. Merchant to talk a little bit about his program, the chemistry program, so if we can move to the next slide. Dr. Merchant will be talking about his program. He'll be talking a little bit about his work, his research, talking about his engagement with students, and talking about what kind of career you can have with a chemistry degree. Dr. Merchant?
Good morning, or I guess good afternoon, wherever you may be. My name is Mark Merchant. I'm the head of the Department of Chemistry and Physics. And I'd like to first start by describing the degree offerings that we have in our department. Our department offers 7 different degrees. We have a degree in chemistry with no concentration. It's just a straight chemistry degree. And we also have a degree in chemistry with a forensic chemistry concentration. We have a chemistry degree for pre-medicine. We have one in chemistry education, and I'll describe these programs and what you can do with these programs in just a moment. We also have one in chemistry management, and we have a brand new program in pre-pharmacy. We have a program in biochemistry. So we have a broad diversity of program offerings at McNeese. We also have a master's degree program for advanced degrees. So what can you do with the chemistry degree? I would like to go through those programs and tell you what our majors do typically after they graduate. The chemistry degree without a concentration, just we call it straight chemistry, is basically the students that graduate with that typically go into industry. We have a very rich and diverse chemical industry here in the Lake Charles area. Most of it is based on petroleum industry because we are near the Gulf of Mexico, and we have a lot of petroleum chemistry job opportunities in this area. Also, the students who graduate with this degree, a lot of them go on to earn a master's and even a PhD and go into upper management and research chemistry. Our forensic chemistry majors often go into forensic science and crime lab type of situations, working for government sometimes. They're the ones that analyze crime scene information and DNA technology, and they've been very successful at finding jobs. The biochemistry program is very diverse because now with the explosion, especially in the United States with biotechnology, these students have an abundance of job opportunities in the biotech industry, in pharmaceutical research. A lot of these students also can go into to medicine or dental practices or dental schools, and so there's a lot of job opportunities for the biochemistry majors. Pre-medicine, I think, is self-explanatory. The pre-medicine, the chemistry pre-med students have the desire to go on to med school and or dental school. The chemistry education is designed for those individuals who would like to teach chemistry at the high school or maybe lower levels. It's a lot of chemistry curriculum combined with education so that they have a good background in education and a good, broad, diverse chemistry background. The chemistry management is one of our newer concentrations, and that is designed to give individuals the background that they need to go into the chemical industry and manage laboratories or be in an upper management situation. That degree plan combines the core chemistry classes with business management and sometimes marketing classes. And the new pre-pharmacy degree is something we're very excited about. It will be instituted in the fall, and this program allows students to go into the pharmacy school. What we've done is we've created what we call a 3+1 program, where the student in the U.S. right now, students can go to pharmacy school without actually graduating with their undergraduate degree. And so as long as you fulfill the requirements of the pharmacy school, their prerequisites, you can leave and not finish your undergraduate degree. And those undergraduate classes that fulfill those the courses that the pharmacy schools want takes about 3 years. And so if you leave McNeese and go to pharmacy school, at the end of your first year, if you send me your transcript showing that you successfully completed those pharmacy classes, we will bestow a degree, your chemistry degree from McNeese. And so in this way, your first year of pharmacy school doubles as your last year of your chemistry curriculum, and it's like a 2-for-1. And it makes it very affordable, and it saves you a whole year, and the students are very excited about this. And and a lot of these students also go into pharmacy research. So we do have a broad spectrum of offerings. And in each of the degree programs are typically chemistry electives that will allow you not only choose your career path, but also, I guess you could say, tailor your education to your specific interests. You have chemistry electives where you can take more organic chemistry, or maybe forensic chemistry, or pharmaceutical type chemistry. And so that further allows you the flexibility to tailor your career to your interests. Our department is, as Ms. Preble mentioned, it is certified by the American Chemical Society, the ACS, and that is the mark of excellence. We have to apply for certification every 5 years, and this organization looks at our exams, they look at our course offerings, they look and see at our student success, and they accredit us based on successes in all those areas. And so if you obtain a degree and earn a degree from an ACS accredited institution, it is a mark of excellence. It means that you have a good, broad education in all of the 5 areas of chemistry: the organic, the inorganic, the analytical, the biochemistry, and the physical chemistry. You have a good, solid foundation, and that means that your professors are providing the information and testing you over the information that good chemists need to know. And so that's we work very hard to maintain that accreditation. We have a lot of research. Our department is very, very active in research. In fact, research is part of the curriculum. You actually, to graduate with a degree in chemistry from McNeese, you have to take research classes where you go into faculty labs, you work with them. It's very fun and very exciting. I love the research component of my job. And just to mention a little bit about some of the research we have in our department, for the last 15 years, my research program has been looking at the biochemistry of crocodiles and alligators. And so my research interests range from the immunology, the immune system of these animals, and we have recently isolated a small protein from alligator white blood cells. It could be, it kills all kinds of bacteria and fungi, and we're excited because it could be a potential new source of antibiotics for human and veterinary use. Dr. Omar Christian in our department is a natural products chemist, and he extracts compounds from plants that have antibacterial activity, antioxidant activity. Dr. Joseph Snedden is an environmental chemist. He's looking at pollution and contamination in the environment and trying to characterize that. We have forensic chemistry research. We have a broad, Dr. Chris Duvers is an inorganic chemist, and he's doing a variety of research looking at new ways to catalyze reactions in industry to make these things more efficient. So we have a broad spectrum also of and a wide array of research interests in our laboratory. And so we think that, and then there's our master's program. So if you decide that you want to go on and further your education, and many of our students do, then you can stay at McNeese and earn a master's. And right now in our department, we have students from India, Nepal, we have students from China, from Bolivia, students from Brazil, from all types of areas from around the globe, and we're very proud of the international diversity of our student population here in our department.
I was going to emphasize, too, one of the really interesting things with the research of a lot of faculty is our geographic location. It's so unique. It really offers very unique opportunities for the research.
Yeah, and we actually have professors. One of our professors are from the Bahamas, another one's from India, another one's from Greece. We just had 2 that retired that were from Turkey. So we have I think we have a broad array of faculty diversity. We have women and men and from different areas, different continents, and that's reflected in our student population as well.
Terrific. Well, right now we're going to move on. We're going to talk a little bit about medical laboratory sciences, which is another area where our students have been very successful. It's also a growing area where there are a lot of career options. And Ms. Jennifer Bushnell is going to talk a little bit about that.
Hi, I'm Ms. Jennifer Bushnell. I'm Program Director of the Medical Laboratory Science Department. I come from Lake Charles Memorial Hospital. It's a local trauma center here in Lake Charles. I worked there for 14 years before I moved over to McNeese State University and started working on the academic side. While I was at Lake Charles Memorial, I instructed clinical students there for 14 years. So that experience made my move over to McNeese a lot easier. A medical laboratory scientist, a lot of people don't really know because it's a small program, but we basically, as medical laboratory scientists, run the tests on you, the patient, while you're in the hospital. So anytime a patient needs to have a blood test run or a urinalysis test, spinal fluid, or a microbiology culture done, we as medical laboratory scientists can do that. And we send those test results to the physician, and then the physician can better diagnose you and treat you. But we have several different sections in the laboratory that I always tell students, you know, if you don't necessarily like drawing blood, don't worry, there are 5 other sections you can work in. There's blood bank, where we do blood transfusions and detect harmful antibodies. There's a chemistry department, which we would test for toxicology, drug abuse, diabetes. And then there's hematology, where we can detect leukemias, anemias, iron deficiencies, and even malaria. And one of my former graduates sent me last summer a slide from Jennings, Louisiana. They found a patient who had traveled abroad and contracted malaria. So that was really interesting and exciting for him. And then we have immunology, the study of HIV, rheumatoid arthritis, anything involving the immune system. We need to learn about those tests so we can better diagnose patients. And then there's microbiology. Most of my students really enjoy microbiology because it's tangible. You can see the bacteria growing, and they enjoy working and manipulating the organisms and looking under the microscope. McNeese's Medical Laboratory Science program has gone through a lot of changes since 1954, when we were first initiated. The name has changed over the years from medical technologist to clinical laboratory scientist to its current name, medical laboratory science. So if you're Googling on the internet, you may find it listed as a different term, but it's still all the same. In order to complete a Bachelor of Science degree here at McNeese, our students typically attend campus classes for the first 3 years, and then after that they will apply for their senior year, an internship in a local clinical site. Students really enjoy that portion. While they still have to take tests and study, they're able to work alongside clinical instructors, and so they get to wear hospital clothing, attire, and work with real live patients. So it's very important for our students to be prepared during those 3 years here on campus. It's a rigorous program, and we make sure that you're ready, and that's why you're interviewed before going to your senior year. Once you complete the degree, we help you get a license to work in the state of Louisiana, which many of our graduates do. Go through a pretty specific background check. We do background checks to make sure that you will be a safe employee working with patients. And then you also will be required to take a national certification test. So again, just to keep our patients safe, we make sure that you have a license, and we do a criminal background check, and you will pass a national certification test. Now, the good news, or the great news that most of my students enjoy hearing, is that our graduates have a 100% employment rate within minimum of 2 months of graduating. Most of them are hired. In fact, 8 out of 10 of my graduates that will be graduating May 14th already have jobs. So a lot of times, wherever you do your internship, that senior year internship, if they have a position at that hospital, they will go ahead and hire you. So even the ones who don't get offered jobs at their internship are still typically hired within 2 months of graduating.
And I'm not going to interrupt you, but I also wanted to emphasize too, when you're talking about your students, your students include international students.
Absolutely. We have a really large population of Nepal students, and just because you're an international student does not mean you can't work here. We have the OPT and STEM program. So without even getting a work visa, students are immediately able to work. By filling simple paperwork, they can work 27 months immediately after graduating. And the hospitals love the Nepal students. You are welcome. There's very diverse population of students and employees at the hospital.
And we're, of course, open to students from any country. It's just right now that program
Nepal,
has been very popular with students.
I've had students from Saudi Arabia, from Vietnam, but the large majority is from Nepal. I think I have one from India, but most of them are from Nepal. So 80% of our graduates, in addition to finding those quick jobs, are employed within this area. So if you if you like this area, there are job opportunities here. But if you want to move to the larger cities, those are also available. Some of my students have moved to Houston, Texas, over to Lafayette, Louisiana, and New Orleans. So there are plenty of job opportunities in the medical laboratory science area. We are accredited. We are a nationally accredited program. Our recent accreditation received 7 years, which is one of the highest accreditation ratings we could get. So we're very proud of that. It's a very small program. We average about 15 students in our classroom, so excellence with a personal touch is true to word. We have 2 main instructors, myself and Miss Sonia Hidalgo, and we have a visiting lecturer that comes from one of the local hospitals, Christus St. Miss Jerry Jackson, who has years of experience. So we would love to have you. It's a great program. Some of our students move on to go to PA school, which is Physician's Assistant School. So for about 2.5 more years, you can move on. Some of our other students have gone on into the military, joined the U.S. military as an officer, and within 6 months, I think they would receive American citizenship. So that's another viable option for a lot of our students.
I'd like to make a comment too. Some of Miss Bushnell's students take my biochemistry class, and these students are typically very well prepared, very good, knowledgeable, very professional, top-notch students. She's got a lot of good students in her department.
Well, I'm going to sort of, that was a great segue into talking about practical training opportunities. So both of these programs, they've talked about opportunities for internships with research with faculty and then postgraduate opportunities. So I want to emphasize that internships are options in all degree programs. And my office specifically works with students to make sure that you get the internship opportunities that you need in your program. So you'll work with your advisor to find out what's available and what you are able to do. But then my office helps you make sure that you have the authorization to engage in those internships. And as Dr. Merchant mentioned, the research with faculty is really valuable, and the ability to work side by side with experts in various fields to get that hands-on experience. That's something that's really valuable, and you don't get that at every school. If I can move forward to the next slide, I'm going to talk a little bit about optional practical training. So optional practical training, and a lot of international students already know all about this, but if you don't, optional practical training is actually work authorization that you can apply for if you apply with the government. It's an authorization that comes through the Department of Homeland Security. But again, my office works with our international students to help them obtain this authorization. And your standard OPT, or optional practical training period, is for 12 months after each level. So at each degree level, you have an opportunity for OPT. And they have now, and this is something that's usually only students in certain areas. They have to be in a STEM field, so science, technology, engineering, or medicine. And the 2 fields that we've talked about today, they both qualify as STEM fields. So on the next slide, we'll talk a little bit about these STEM extensions. So in addition to your OPT, which is 12 months, they've actually just changed the rules on STEM extensions for optional practical training, and you can now get an additional 24 months. So you have a total of almost 3 years of optional practical training in the United States. I mean, that is just an incredible opportunity when you're in one of these fields to get practical, hands-on experience, whether this is experience that you're going to take home and apply in your home country or wherever you intend to build a career, or if you want to build that into something else locally. Sometimes that becomes an option for students too, depending on their work experience. So one thing that we really want to emphasize today is that certain fields, specifically chemistry, medical laboratory sciences, engineering, these are fields where you have options with practical training, and especially with the STEM extension, and it makes it's really an added value to your degree program. And again, you get the guidance of your faculty, that you get the guidance of mentors on campus. You have possible internship opportunities depending on your degree program. And you also have the support of an international student office to make sure that you make the most of your opportunity. On the last slide, I've got our website. If you want to learn more about McNeese, it's mcneese.edu/international. I'm also happy to take personal inquiries. That is my personal, that's my work email address that comes directly to me. So I'm always happy to entertain any questions you have or to make sure that you get the information you need. So right now, I think we're going to open it up to just general questions, or if you have specific questions, we're all going to stay and we can all help with those questions. I'm sure some of those questions will be about scholarships. It could be about the specific degree programs. So I'd be happy to take some of those questions now. All right, I'm going to wait for the questions to pop up. All right. Okay. All right. I think we have maybe a technical issue here. I'm not seeing the questions that they need to pop up. All right. Gotta love technology.
Get some help from somebody here?
Yeah.
Okay, the first question you have is from Bishel.
Okay.
STEM fields are rapidly changing. As many new things are getting discovered, how is McNeese updating courses to keep up with the changing times?
Well, I know that I can tell you that in the area of chemistry, of course, is one of the main STEM areas. We are constantly changing our course offerings to reflect the changing technology. We have a new course in nanotechnology to reflect the need for nanotechnology science. We have a course in green chemistry to address those issues. So we are always updating our course offerings and generating new courses in different fields of chemistry to address the changing needs of our scientific community.
And the same with us. Since we are an accredited program, we have new standards every 5 to 7 years that make sure that we update our program. And since the students do work that senior year in the hospitals, it is live, and whatever is current and up to date in the hospitals, our students are taught that.
Great. Can you give us the next question? We'll be happy to answer.
Where can I find a list of these STEM programs?
Can you repeat that?
Where can I find a list of these STEM programs?
The actual list of STEM programs, it is on the Department of Homeland Security website. That would be the most authoritative list. If you Google STEM extension, it should take you to a government website, and that's where you would look at the STEM, the official list of STEM extension.
What about the STEM programs at McNeese?
Well, I don't have a published list of that. If you have a question about your degree program, I could certainly look at that and give you information on it. And it's all coded. They use something called a zip code. So sometimes it's not just a general answer, only this or that. So you do have to be a little cautious about that. But there is an official list, and that's what I use when I do my advising, and that comes from the Department of Homeland Security.
This question is from Embel Naglam. Hi, I heard about STEM opportunities, and I'm interested in knowing more on that subject. Also, I heard a new STEM OPT, which will begin on May 10th. Is that true?
Right, so the STEM extension and the information that I gave is the most current information. They revised the way the STEM extension was being handled, and actually the new rules are much more generous for international students. You can now have a STEM extension 2 times in your lifetime. So that's possible. For example, you could have a STEM extension at the bachelor's level, but you could also have it again at the master's level, which is incredibly valuable to international students. So it really allows you the opportunity to get hands-on experience at both levels. So that's valuable. But also, too, the advantage in the United States, these are areas where we're trying to fill positions, and so these are areas of need in terms of careers. So this is an area of need in the United States, and I think, as Jennifer mentioned, the fact that her students are hired before they even graduate really speaks to the fact that these are critical areas. There are a lot of career options, both for Americans and for international students.
Our next question is from Naim Rabi. Is there any opportunity to do a master's in computer science? And is there any funding opportunity like RA?
Okay, so we've talked mostly about our undergraduate programs. We do have a variety of graduate programs. We do have a master's in computer science. It is in our mathematical sciences program. It's a concentration in computer science, so it has a very strong mathematical sciences focus to it. But it is a computer science program. We have some funding at the graduate level. At the graduate level, you really need to apply early, and it's competitive. And there are some graduate assistant positions available, but like I said, those are very competitive, so it's important to apply early. If I can reemphasize, though, the opportunities that we have available at the undergraduate level, that's really important. At the undergraduate level, we have a variety of awards and scholarships, and essentially it allows us to offer the same tuition that our local students pay to international students. And currently our tuition is about $3,300 per semester with this the awards that I'm talking about. So we have, it makes McNeese extremely affordable. It's an affordable place to live. The southern part of the United States has a lower cost of living, so that when you combine all of that, it does make it very, very affordable if you're budget conscious.
Our next question is from Empel Naglam. Is McNeese an E-verified company?
Well, McNeese does use E-verify, but we're not employing people. So E-verify would be used by an employer. So E-verify would be something that you would be concerned about when you're applying for a job. I'm not seeking applications for people who are seeking employment. I'm looking for international.
Yeah, students don't use that system, right?
So yeah, that's not a system that's important for international students.
Okay, our last question is from Ellen McBride. Does this apply to students from UK?
Yes, so international students, that would be anyone who would be entering on an F1 visa, which would be a student visa. And yes, this does, everything we've talked about would be open to students from the UK. We have a nice contingency of students from the UK. In fact, several of our student athletes, have several very successful student athletes from the UK, and so yes, the information we've provided is applicable to anyone who is a non-U.S. citizen.
Yeah, in fact, one of our British students, we interviewed him last week. One of our UK students is applying for med school.
Oh, terrific!
Yeah, he's a really bright guy. He's doing very well.
So we're very proud of our international students. We've had a lot of success, and we feel that our international students really just add a tremendous amount to our campus, to our classrooms, to our athletic teams. So.
Cultural diversity.
Yep.
Great. That's all the time that we have. Thanks so much to Preble and everyone over at McNeese State University for all their insight and helpful information. And thank you for all joining us. If we do not get to your questions, or you would like more information about McNeese State University, visit their profile located in the showcase or at internationalstudent.com and fill out the Request More Information form. Thanks again, and best of luck to all of you.
Bye. Thank you.